Seems like Chicago real estate is going down in the dumps. And we're not talking about just a few percentages off. We're talking about several percentages off. Now, we talked a lot about the San Francisco real estate market, and it's pretty bad. But I was surprised and very shocked to find that Chicago real estate, and especially downtown Chicago real estate near the Loop, is one of the worst in the whole entire world. Like, I'm not even sure if Chicago's real estate could even beat like third world prices at this point. Because if you look at this, we got a skyscraper in Chicago in the past few months sold for a measly $45 million. Now, I'm sure it's going through your head thinking $45 million is a lot of money. You know, this building is probably not really that big. Well, let me show you how big this building is. This is how fat the building is. Multiple stories on a massive lot. You're in the middle of downtown Chicago. You're near the Loop. This is where all the offices are located. Look at how big this building is. And you're telling me a building of this size sold for just $45 million? Like, if you go on Zillow, and if you just go to like Manhattan, right? Like $45 million in Manhattan should probably only get you like half a floor. And just look at Manhattan real estate prices, just the residential alone. If you want to get like a condo like this, 6,000 square feet, 5 beds, 7 bath, you just get the top floor, that's it. And it's $45 million. You're telling me a building, a whole entire building in downtown Chicago sells for the same price as an average penthouse in Manhattan. Something is wrong with the price of Chicago, considering $45 million for a 700,000 square foot building. 700,000 square feet versus 6,300 square feet. That's insane. It makes no sense. And I know Manhattan may be like a very crazy price to pick from, but even places like Miami, right? Even places like Texas, Singapore, the price per square feet doesn't get this bad. If you do the division, it's basically worthless at this point. Now, if you guys think this is bad, well, somebody sold this whole entire building for $4 million. Look at this. $4 million for a building of this size. Guys, I can't even talk about this. If you go to New York City and you try to find units that are under $4 million, it's like pretty small. Like, check this out. $4 million in Manhattan. It could get you something pretty nice. 1,800 square feet next to Central Park. But in $4 million in Chicago, you get a whole entire building to yourself, alongside with very, very nice amounts of prime real estate. Now, the first thing many people who don't live in Chicago probably say, these buildings are probably in the bad part of town. But in fact, we're looking at one of the best places of real estate in Chicago, which is near the Loop area. This place is actually one of the best places in all of Chicago, in my opinion. This is where all the big tourism is. This is where the Sears Towers is. And this is where the museums and all the tourist traps are. This is a nice part of Chicago. Now go down a little bit south, not so great, right? North is pretty good, actually. But you get the idea. Whole entire buildings like these selling for $4 million, something is wrong with the U.S. commercial real estate price. And what's really bad about this is if this massive building sells for $4 million, that building behind this building is probably sweating its balls off. And the buildings right next to it are like, hold on a second. Are we going to get a 90% downgrade in price too? This is what's happening to many U.S. banks. In fact, so many of these real estate prices are lower than you think. And here's the thing. They put these units on the market for bidding, and then you got like 2 people who shows up with barely any change. Like, the guy who bought this building for $4 million is probably very happy, because these buildings during the peak of Chicago real estate boom was like, we're looking at like 40, 50, 60, $70 million. I'm not even joking. I mean, this building actually sold for like what? 89% off? Yeah, here it is. Previously sold for $43 million. And now it sells for $4 million. That's crazy. Real estate is supposed to be a very stable investment. But it feels like nowadays real estate is worse than crypto. And I don't have any words. Like, I get it. Commercial real estate's pretty bad. But 90% off? I mean, it's worse than San Francisco real estate prices, guys. It is so bad. Hey, man, if you want a big commercial building like this, and you have like $2-3 million in the bank, go to Chicago, point at a pretty decently sized building, and offer them a few $1 million, and they'll probably sell it to you. This is how bad it's getting. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below before we leave. Check out the private Discord server, guys. 7-day free trial and lots of really awesome winning trades, and we trade live every single day. Check us out.